Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to the Glass Cannon Challenge. Now if you're new here, rules are pretty simple. We have 1 HP, we're only allowed to use cannon and launcher weapons, and we're playing in master mode. Yada yada yada, that doesn't really matter for today. Today, I kind of want to take a dedicated video to just talk about an inspirational topic that really hit me yesterday. As most of you know, if you stick around, you watch the channel, I like to end a lot of these videos by just taking like 5-10 minutes and talking about some random thing. And I just want to make a dedicated video about that today. In the meantime, I'll just be like time-lapsing a build and getting some farming and stuff done for the next video. So yeah, man, if you're interested in some motivation, or you just want to listen to a nice little introspective talk while you make some food or something, stick around. That's about all I got. Let's get into it. Alright, so today's topic I want to talk about is the different ways people stay motivated and the different ways people train. Yesterday, I got hit with some crazy inspiration because I lifted with my friend, who we'll call Jared. I lifted with my boy Jared for the first time, really ever, because he hasn't been training, like, at all up until the last 4 months. And he took a route that I would consider a very unconventional route, where he just flipped a switch one day and just decided he wanted to get into shape and started training for like 4 months, 4 days a week, going hard and bringing his friends together and just like going hard with the stuff he has in his basement. A couple of dumbbells, a bench, like, and it's totally different from the route I took, and really the route I would recommend for anybody to take. And it just really makes me think, because I've had moments like that too, where, or really what I should say is, it is extremely rare for people to just be able to flip a switch like that and just go. And once you get past like the 4-month barrier, that's something that sticks with you literally forever. People make fun of the 2-week like or like even like the week burst of motivation. You see a motivational speech on like TikTok or something, and you're like doing push-ups every morning for a week, and then you stop. But once you get past like the 3-month, 4-month barrier, that's something that I truly believe sticks with you forever. Part of the reason I've talked about this before, but the reason I'm so passionate about lifting and running and stuff is not necessarily the physical gains. I'm so fascinated by like the disciplinary, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just like the discipline boosts you get from that literally can be transferred into any other walk of life. Everything, learning, just freaking video games, whatever, dude. Like, video games might need some explaining, but we'll get on to that. I want to talk a bit about my story as well, like the way I got into the gym, because like I said, it's completely different from that. I got into the gym from this Planet Fitness Summer Pass like 3 or 4 years ago, training with my friend who was going to the gym very consistently, and he was already really strong. And I went like 2 days with him, and I kind of just never stopped. I just started going 3 days a week for a few months, then I upped it to 4 and 5 and 6 and stuff. And this is something that, I don't know, there's some kind of thing at the core of my character where I've always been good at just like I've been good at forming habits. Like, I don't know. This is another thing. I don't think I've mentioned this on the channel, but I've came up with this idea that I call stat point theory. Don't be surprised if 10 years down the line you see me write a book about this or some shit. But this is the way I view people's brains. So I want to make a full dedicated video to this at some point, but I just want to briefly summarize it real quick. Let's imagine that everybody at birth gets 500 stat points, an average of 500 stat points. These are then filtered down into different categories of like mental stuff, right? Mental strengths and stuff. So like you got charisma, maybe ambition, memory, learning capacity. The categories aren't fully concrete yet. This is still a theory that's in its infancy, right? But this is something I truly believe in. Like, there's got to be something like that, and because it just describes so many people so well. But if I had to describe my stat points, right, I don't know how many I got, and to be honest, it doesn't really matter. But I think I've always felt like there's some kind of category that makes me not want to just not want to stop things. Even growing up, like in like 7th grade and stuff, I'd always like try to grind out video games and stuff. Like if I had to put, I totally have a lot of stat points. I've always felt like I have above average memory, and I've really valued the strength of like my learning capacity. I've always felt like I'm a really good learner, and maybe I'm not. maybe none of that's true, but just like the belief that I am has really like done wonders for me. And it's something I'm extremely proud of, but I don't know. I don't want to sound like I'm tooting my own horn or anything, but it's necessary to the conversation because, like, I don't know. I've been addicted to learning and stuff. Every game I picked up when I was a kid, like Fortnite, I'm not even kidding. I put 100 days on Fortnite in probably a year and 1/3. 100 days, bro. That's like a fifth of my time alive during that like year and a half, year and 1/3. All I did was play Fortnite. Absolutely insane. Some of you may know I love Brawlhalla too. I've been playing Brawlhalla for like 6 years. I like just caught up to that amount of hours in Brawlhalla, bro, which is absolutely insane. But the point is, I just don't stop things for some reason. I like learning. I see the value in that. And I think that really transferred over to when I got into the gym because I just didn't stop for some reason. And I can't explain why, because it kind of goes down to another thing that I believe in where, like, roughly around 11th grade, so summer of 10th grade, I started lifting up until like November. I'm not even kidding. I got a bunch of like motivational TikToks and like shorts and stuff from David Goggins and Andrew Tate, and it totally flipped a switch in my brain that has stuck with me up until now, man. The last like 3 years. It's something I'm extremely happy with. I'm super glad that that hit me. Basically, what I feel like happened is like, at that moment, I kind of learned the value that like, I kind of learned what self-efficacy was to me, you know? I kind of inherited that. And if you don't know what self-efficacy is, it's like your confidence in yourself and your ability to like grow and improve. I probably butchered that definition, but that's like at its core, that's what it means. And basically, like I learned at that moment that I could do, like I just believed in blind work. I believed in I just wanted to put my ambition somewhere, right? So I just started running and lifting hard and just like wanting to improve at everything. And that transferred over to school and stuff. Not that like my grades doubled and everything. I've always been like a good student and stuff, but I just like felt more motivated in like basically every walk of life. That's a reason that kind of goes back to the whole discipline thing with the gym, where when you train and stuff, like that's why I believe in that, bro, because I noticed it in my life. I noticed that when I started training, like I would run just because it was hard. Now I run a lot because it helps me think. Like this is all this, I planned through all that I was gonna talk about on today's morning run, right? I don't run because it's hard anymore. Today's run was easy as hell. It's been easy as hell for the last 2 weeks, but I just wanted to throw my ambition at the wall and just grind, bro. And this all comes back to that initial gym because like I have no idea why I got into the gym. I have no idea why it is stuck with me. It's just something that's at the core of my character that I just didn't stop, because I believe that basically up until a certain point, like you're not even like raised, you don't even have free will basically. I totally believe in free will obviously, but I think everything up until that point around November of my junior year, I was just like, all my decisions were effectively just from my parents, you know? My parents' decisions to put me in soccer when I was a kid. My parents' decisions to do whatever limitations on video games and stuff, like that kind of thing. I believe that shaped me as a person up until that point, and then I started shaping myself. So, I don't know, totally a long rant there, but like those are all topics I want to talk about down the line. I hope some of it stuck, but I'm not done here. I'm not done here. Another one of my friends kind of took an even different route to training, where he's like as far as I'm aware, no switch flipped in his brain or anything. He just wanted to get better at volleyball and stuff and get better at basketball and all that. So he just started training, and like for a while he always hated training because he thought it was boring as shit, which it is boring as shit when you're not super motivated and stuff. But now he's super consistent and goes and has gotten significantly stronger and noticeably stronger. Lifting's awesome, dude. Like seriously, if you've listened up to this point and you don't lift, I one, I doubt anyone has listened up to this point and they don't lift, because it's hard to understand the value. But if you are one of those people who don't lift and you've listened up to this point, why would you not want to lift, bro? Why would you? It's genuinely like one of the craziest things. It's helpful in every aspect of your life, bro. You build a disciplinary base that transfers over to everything. You get stronger, you look better, you feel better, you're healthier, you'll live longer. Everything is improved when you lift, bro. I think I'm gonna call it there. I have so many other things I could rant about. Let me know how you guys kind of like this style of video, because I could totally make more like it. I love talking about motivation and stuff. I really hope some of my words kind of impact other people. It's something I'm gonna keep improving at. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the talk. Have a good one. Peace.